What was the word for time or a year?
Chronos.
Chronos. And we also said the I chronia can also be a year, like in Kali chronia, good year, Choliki chronia, the school year. And O chronos, the year, the most common word for year when we're talking about a period of time, no? Had a very strange plural. What was the plural of O chronos?
Tachronia.
Tachronia. Good.
Tachronia.
And we said how this is connected to chronological, no? That chronos can also mean time generally, and this is where we get chronological from in English. How would you say, I haven't seen you for years?
Echo chronia nase do.
Very good. Echo chronia nase do. There's also another expression to express the same idea, no? Like I haven't done something for an amount of time. So instead of I have years, na I see you, we might also say I haven't seen you εδώ και χρόνια. Here and years. So that's not saying I haven't seen you here. No, this is an expression εδώ και, and then you put the amount of time, here and, so a little bit like from here, no, or something like this. Χρόνια. So again, a bit odd because it's an expression. So using this, you will say I haven't seen you here and years.
Σε έχω δει εδώ και χρόνια.
But here we will actually use the negative, no? I haven't seen you.
Δεν σου έχω δει εδώ και χρόνια.
Good, but don't do it from memory. Think it through again.
Δεν σου έχω...
That's from memory, yeah.
Δεν σε έχω δει εδώ και χρόνια.
Very good. Δεν σε έχω δει εδώ και χρόνια. And here we have the negative, no, in this construction. So often in language, there are many ways to say the same thing, no? And they can depend on communal or individual preferences. So a communal preference is a dialect, no? Certain dialects you will see different preferences in different places. And then an individual preference is an idiolect. You will notice how people have idiolects and in certain situations tend to choose maybe exclusively one way of saying things over another. We all have our individual idiolect as well. So we saw chronos and we said how it's related to chronological. When we have ch in English and it gives us a k sound, like a k sound, so not like the ch in cheese or charity, no, but like in school or chronological, when we have that ch making a k sound in English, it's Greek. And this is the letter that looks like an X in Greek, no, like in echo, chronology, chronos. Which I should mention, you should be careful not to confuse with a K in some Greek fonts, like the ones used in the dictionary. This X and the stylized way of writing the K can look very similar. Scholiki chronia, I mentioned, no, the school year. So again, we have the word in English school, no, CH making K, and then scholio is the word for school in Greek, scholio.
Scholio.
And then in this way, when we use it like an adjective, scholiki, like in school year now, scholiki chronia. Psychology, I mentioned before for the logi bit, but I also mentioned it was something like the science of the soul, no? Psyche is soul. Again, psycho, we have the CH there making a k sound. You might also hear in Greek, psychimo. What does that mean? Psychimo.
My soul.
My soul, used to refer to somebody affectionately, no? Psychimo, my soul. We have chromatic in English, no? Like in musical scales, the chromatic scale is the colorful scale because we have in Greek chroma, which is the color. Chroma. How would you make that plural?
Chromata.
Very good. Very good. It's a neuter word ending ma, to chromata, chromata. Ichos, for example, means sound. If we replace that ch with ch, we might find the word in English. If we imagine it with a ch, ichos, what does it look like in English?
Echo.
Echo. Good. So echo is just the Greek word for sound. Well, actually, in Greek, ichos is sound and icho is echo, which is fascinating because it's like we move the accent like an echo, no? Ichos, icho. Then we get echo. Character, another ch there, giving us ch. In Greek, we have charakteras, which is actually connected to I engrave, I carve, charazo. Your character is your markings. What's marked you in your life is your character. That's the idea behind that word. Kharazi also means the break of dawn. So kharazo is like, engrave, to carve, or maybe to crack, And kharazi, it engraves, it cracks, is the break of dawn. The word for soon was sidoma. So you could say, the dawn will break soon.
Facharazi sidoma.
Okay, this would mean more like, it's going to be breaking dawn soon. So if you wanted the it will, the closed version, how might that be?
Facharasi.
Good, that's a good guess now, because we have, for example, agorazo, agorazo, argizo, I start argizo. But here it's jarazo to jaraxo. Like alazo, I change, alaxo, like peso, I play, pexo. But we can also look to the word in English that comes from the Greek to get a guess towards the closed version. So character sounds like charaxo. And, as we know, we generally have quite a few limited options for our closed version. So we can look if the word we get from that sounds something like or we've already seen this, like inferno, I bring, and fero, the closed version, which is what we find in words like transfer. So often we make other vocabulary from the closed version of the verb, which can help us guess it. So, Thaharaxi sidoma. My name, Michalis. If you replace that ch with ch, what is the name you find in English? Michael, of course, which actually is from ancient Hebrew, meaning something like, who is like God, thought to be a rhetorical question, necessitating the answer like no one. Who is like God? No one. Chameleon, chamomile. Chamomile used to be spelled ch, although it's not so common now. These are built of choma, meaning ground or soil. The first bit, cham, is actually choma. So chameleon means like a ground lion, actually, or a dirt lion or something like this. Chamomile means something like a ground apple. Tomilo in Greek is an apple, which is actually where the English word melon comes from. So always try to break up Greek words to see what they're made of, or words in English you notice are from Greek, either from some part you recognize like peri, epi, or whatever, or a CH sound giving us k, or like the PH giving us F, like in phone, telefono. It's amazing for your memory and just for general digesting of vocabulary to look at it in this way. And if you speak other languages, try to cross that bridge too. For example, in Spanish, chamomile is manzanilla, literally little apple. Or even in Spanish Sign Language, the sign for character, which I mentioned was coming from jaraz, or like to mark, is just marking and kind of scratching the hand, so you find the same idea there as well. Choreography means writing with dance. We've already seen grafo, I write, with the PHF connection, or graphy, grafo, and chorevo is I dance, chorevo. What might be the closed version of chorevo? Chorepso. I haven't danced for years.
Echo chronia na chorepso.
Very good. Echo chronia na chorepso, then echo chorepsi edo ke chronia. So this is a way of looking at vocabulary. Whenever we get the opportunity to, we want to pick things apart rather than trying to memorize them. Even if we see a word that we don't understand, we might see which bits it's built of, which may allow us in the context to guess the meaning of the word. And even if it doesn't, we've revised those little bits, that we recognize and brought them closer to the surface. So that's the way we want to approach vocabulary, especially in a language like Greek, where the vocabulary is long because it's built of so many different parts.